everyone, welcome to today's video. If you're new to my channel, my name's Marie and I'm going to be doing a short mini series of hobbies or crafts or fun things to do for the over 50s, just to keep ourselves busy and to keep ourselves entertained. So my first video was paint by numbers and I'll link that at the end of this video. But today's hobby or craft is going to be diamond painting. Now, I had never heard of this before. I was actually in Hobby Lobby just walking around getting some ideas when I came across this. Now, it was 40% off at the time, so that just made it all the more better. But I wanted to share with you this project. It might be for you. Now, like I said, it's called diamond painting, but it doesn't involve any paint and it doesn't involve any paintbrushes. This is what it is. I'm gonna pop on some different paintings that they had available. I chose the dragonflies, but as you can see, they did have quite a different variety of them. The original price is $7.99. Like I said, I got it for 40% off, so that was a real bargain, especially when I don't know whether I'm going to enjoy doing this or not. So let's see all what this encompasses. So on the back, it looks like this. Everything is included. Now it looks like a colour chart on the side here. I'll take a picture of this and blow it up on the screen for you because I'm not sure what that all represents. But let's open this and see what this all involves. Hopefully it's got some instructions. I don't see any at the moment. So it has an outer protection. Then this is also covered in plastic. I think that's supposed to stay on because that has been stapled. So you don't take this plastic cover off. I'm going to save this little drawing here as a reference. But let's see. For some reason I thought this was going to be beads. It's not. It almost looks like little stones. I'm going to zoom in. Hopefully you can pick up on that. Can you see that a little bit better? So on one side you can see the stones. I don't know if they are stones. Then on this side you've got two numbers. So it says 26 on the top and then it has a 7 or 8 digit number underneath. That's interesting. There's no instructions. Okay, this is a little sticky pad. This end looks like a scoop, which maybe then the little pebbles go down inside, and then it has this kind of end to it. These are the fixtures to hang the paint in. And then we have a tray. I have no idea. None whatsoever what I'm supposed to do. This is quite bizarre actually. As you see all these colours, I think I better watch a tutorial myself because there are no instructions. Yeah, I'm going to turn this off and look up how to do this. So I've watched the tutorial. I was completely wrong. So let's start from the beginning. This plastic cover does have to come off. When it comes off, this texture here or this surface here is going to be sticking. Next, this is wax. So it has a cover to it. You're going to peel it off. You're going to stab the pen into the wax, which makes it easier to pick up the beads. So apparently there's two different types of beads. There's the round ones and the square ones. The round ones apparently are easier to start with for beginners. So you have the wax on your pen and now you're able to pick the beads up. Also, they're not known as beads, they're known as drills. So you pick your drill, you pour it into here, you have your wax in the end and you pick up the ones and you put them on the painting. So on the back, this is the key. So you have a number which correlates to the number on the drill. I thought these were just white dots. You have to zoom in, really zoom in. It might go blurry at this moment, but inside each one of these little dots is a number which correlates to the key, which correlates to the colour. So because this is so small, what I'm going to have to do is use my phone, which is what I video with, and I'm going to have to take a picture of this section, blow it up and see what number is inside each circle. So this is going to be time consuming. I came across this problem with the paint by numbers because the paint by numbers were so tiny. I wear glasses, and so this is going to be time consuming. I do want to make sure that this is sticky though, because this is, as you can see, stapled onto the painting. It is sticky, so I'm going to put that back down for now. The tutorial, the lady that she was doing a huge picture. It was pretty impressive. What she did was she cut the edges off, and then she would peel back a corner as she worked on that corner, which makes sense. You don't want to peel the whole thing off and then it will lose its stickiness. If this takes 2 weeks to do, you know, this might have dust lay on it and all that kind of stuff, or you might rest your hand on it and it'll become less stickier and stickier. So I don't want to do that just yet. I don't want to start this painting until probably tomorrow, when I can sit aside some time just to sit down, set up my camera and really focus in on this. But she did say, if you're going to buy one of these, if you're a beginner, start with the circles. Now the ones that have squares will have square drills, and the picture actually looks a little bit different, so there's no gaps in between the drills. With the circle ones, there's going to be like a little gap. She said the circle ones are more shinier, glitterier than the square ones, but the square ones are more detailed. So as a first beginner, I'm glad I picked the circle ones. That was just a random thing that I did. And yeah, we'll give this a go and see how much fun this is. I think it's going to be time consuming. Anyway, I'll check back with you tomorrow. I took a picture of this rose with my cell phone and blew it up, and it looks like the main colours here are number 24, 20 and 14. I think the first number is 20. So we'll take this one. I'm going to take my wax. Let's see how difficult this is. And you press down with the pen. Okay, so now the wax is in the pen. Pour some 20s on here. And if you shake them, they'll go into the little grooves, so it'll make it easier to pick up. I'm just going to pull back the little rose area and work on this little segment first. I think it might be easier if I just cut this piece off. There we go. And that's the first one. Let's go in for the second one. And the third one. It's actually very easy. There we go. The hardest part for me is seeing those numbers, so it's going to be very difficult to film because I've taken a picture and blown it up, and even blowing it up, it's still difficult to see. I wish they had a sheet like this. Now this was from my paint by numbers, so I folded it up, but this is a big picture of my paint by numbers with all the numbers blown up. So even this is kind of difficult to see, but it's a lot easier than looking down at that. So anyway, I'm going to press on with this corner and I'll give you an update in a second. I've got the second colour here. This is number 24. And we're just going to, it's very satisfying actually. There is a right side and a wrong side, so I don't know if you can see. These are all flat, so I need to shake them. There we go. So the rounded side is close to the wax, and then you press the flat side onto the painting. Pick up, put down, pick up, put down. This isn't at all difficult, like there's no pressure. The hardest pressure is pushing this into the wax to make sure that it picks up the wax, but just touching these very lightly and placing them, it's actually very easy. Let me show you a little update. There we go. I'll check back in a few. So one little tip I would say is don't pull too many out at once, otherwise you're going to be picking them back up and trying to put them back in the packet. So just do a few at a time. So this is a new colour. This is number 12. And that goes there. I think one of the trickiest things is to try and shake them so they're the right way up. Sometimes they just don't want to go. There we go. And then if you shake them too hard, they pop out and land on your desk. So it's actually a different day now, and I have to work later on. I have to do like a night shift or an evening shift tonight. So I thought I'd sit here, get cozy, put Netflix on, or put YouTube on actually, and sit and do an hour of this. And I've got it all laid out. Let me show you my little setup. So I'm still working on the rose section here, but I've got my colours over here strategically placed that they do not fall out, because I would hate to have to sit and pick all these little pieces out of this fur blanket. But yeah, I'm nice and cozy. Now you found me a few days later, and I'm about to place the very last drill. So let's do this together. Very last one goes right here. Here is the finished product. Isn't it cute? Let's go over a couple of things that I've learned along the way. Definitely only peel back the area that you want to work on, because I did get ahead of myself a couple of times, and I thought, you know, I'll set aside a couple of hours and I'll do this section here. And I pulled it all back, and as I was working on it, my hand was touching the sticky part. So don't get ahead of yourselves, just do little sections at a time. Also, if you are going to work on a bed like I did, use a tray. Now my drills did spill a couple of times, and I'm still finding drills in the sheets every night. So that's one tip, use a tray. Now don't worry if you do spill them, because they give you plenty. Look how much I have left over. And I also have one entire packet of this green that I didn't even open. So you get plenty of these if you do happen to drop them and they spill and they're not recoverable. Say they fall into a carpet and you have to vacuum them up. Don't worry, you're going to have plenty of these. Now I'm going to save those, and I'm going to find some sort of storage like box container, like a jewelry case, to put those in for anything else that I might want to use, some sort of future project. This is the wax. I only use this much wax. So they do give you plenty of stuff to work with. So just like my first video, I did the paint by numbers. I gave it 3 different ratings, so I'd like to rate this. So the first rating I'm going to give it is the enjoyability rating, and I'm going to rate it out of 5. Now with my paint by numbers, I gave it a 4. For this, it's going to get a 5. I really look forward to doing this. I really like the fact that I could sit in bed and do this, have the TV on, whereas with the paint by numbers, I felt it was easier to sit at the desk. And I love just being in the bed and being cozy and wrapping myself up in the pillows, put the quilt over me. And I had this on my lap, and I just sat, watched TV, listened to a podcast, did a bit of this. I mean, it was just so relaxing, and it was easy. It really was easy. Now, the only thing is, if you have eyesight like me, you will have to use your phone. And let me show you how I did this rose. Now, I'm going to show you some pictures here, how I did this rose, how many pictures I took. First, I took an empty shot. So I got my first colour and I started filling it in. Now, as you fill it in, if you only work off of that same one photo, it tends to get a bit confusing. So as you fill in a little section, you want to take a picture, then fill in another little section, take another picture. It will just help the process. So I took, I think, about 7 or 8 pictures just to do the rose. So for enjoyability, it definitely gets a 5. Now my next rating is, how easy is it for a first time beginner out of 5? I'm going to say 5. Again, it really was easy. The only thing is I did have to watch a YouTube tutorial because it didn't come with any instructions. But I think even if it had come with instructions, for me, I love to see versus read instructions. I know we all learn differently, so I think watching the video was a better thing for me. But this was so easy. 5 out of 5 for that one. Now it gets an overall rating out of 5, and I would say with the amount of supplies that they give you, just in case you have an accident, the fact that it's very easy for a first time beginner, and the enjoyability of this, the affordability for a first timer. I mean, I invested $4, now it was 40% off, so the full price is only still $7.50. So I think that's an awesome price just to give something for a first time. You would hate to invest in something expensive and then realise I didn't enjoy doing this at all, or I was no good at it, I completely ruined it. So I am going to take the affordability into account. I also want to mention the time factor. Now this is probably about 18 inches by 12 inches, I would guess, or 20 inches by 12. And this took roughly about 10 hours. Now, 10 hours of picking it up for 30 minutes, putting it down, then another hour, then a day later working 2 hours on it. So I think I spent roughly 10 hours on this. Again, great cost for time value. It's going to get a 5 out of 5. So it scored top rankings of 15 points out of 15. Now, my granddaughter caught me doing this one afternoon and she said, you know what, Granny, I do that on an app. So I haven't checked it out, but apparently you can do this type of thing on a phone app. Let me know if you've tried diamond painting before and whether you liked it or not. I hope I've inspired you. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in my next hobby in a few weeks.